Have questions you want answered? Send them to me. AskBadBrad@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, leave comments. Forget about it. Hey, folks, the man with the pinky ring and the New York thing. Forget about it. Bad Brad Berkwitt. And you're watching another episode of Ask Bad Brad on the Ringside Report web TV channel. Now, if you'd like to be on a future show, remember, please do not DM me questions. Don't leave them on these tweets when I push these videos out on Twitter on my platform. Please send your questions in to AskBadBrad@gmail.com. Again, that's AskBadBrad@gmail.com. And as well, follow me on Twitter @BadBradRSR. Again, that's @BadBradRSR. All right, folks, I got some great questions today, long ones, so let's get right into them. First up, hi, Bad Brad. I was wondering how you feel about Medicare. I feel they take too much out and don't cover enough. For example, my mom is 86, soon to be 87. She broke both feet last week and has been financially hard. We were able to get a transfer board and a commode for her room, which was donated. She has a monthly fee for a wheelchair, and she has no wheelchair ramp. They do not cover Depends, which she is out of now. She is about the medical bills now. I just wish people realize how hard it is for some of our elderly. They take almost $300 a month out of her Social Security. I just feel it doesn't cover enough. I just thought I would get your opinion. Thank you for being a voice for so many of us, Sherry. Well, first of all, Sherry, number one, I'm sorry to hear that about your mom, and I hope that she heals up and gets better soon. I know it's a lot, and it aggravates me because the first thing that pops into my head, Sherry, is that the Republicans want to cut Social Security, Rick Scott and Ron Johnson, Senator Johnson out of Minnesota, Rick Scott out of Florida, and others, Mike Lee. But then they want to hide and say that's not what they're going to do. Even Mike Pence is talking about it now. So that's a big bone of contention with me, okay, because I know people are struggling in this country and they need their Social Security. And realistically, I hate, I'm going to use air quotes, when they say, quote, it's an entitlement program. It is not, in my opinion, an entitlement program. You, your mom, myself, Debbie, and many other people paid into that for many, many, many years while we were working. And I'm telling you, when I was at the height of my earning power, after I retired from the Navy and I was working as a government contractor, I was paying in a lot. I was paying a lot of money. So it gets ridiculous. And I think it stops at, what, 100,000? I don't know what the number is now, but it's a lot of money. So I don't have all the answers, and I don't want to speak. I don't want to put out erroneous information. I'm not well enough versed on Social Security and what you're talking about, Medicare, to talk about it. My dad was on it, and he got Medicare and Medicaid. I know it helped him out a lot. So I can't really give a definitive answer, but from a human side, I'm going to say I think it's disgusting that anybody in this country has to go without for their medical care. We have to figure something out, and it's not cutting Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare like the Republicans want to do, Sherry. Again, I hope your mom heals up. I know I couldn't fully give you an in-depth answer like I would like to give you, but I don't put out erroneous information on the Bad Brad Berkwitt Show, and I definitely don't do it on Ask Bad Brad. All right, send in your questions anytime. And one more time to your mom, I hope you get better. All right, next up, Bad Brad. I just saw your tweet about George Santos from yesterday and pasting it here to address it. Anywhere else, he wants me to read it, this person. Anywhere else but the Republican, yes, I did say this. Yes, I did. I own every word. Before I say this, I'm not apologizing. Stand by. The show's going R-rated. Anywhere else but the Republican Party, George/Anthony/Katera Santos would have been fired for cause. There is not a Republican in Congress who open their motherfucking mouths on anything when it comes to our rights, taxes, laws, or anything else. I own every single motherfucking word I just said in that tweet yesterday because I'm tired of it. The hypocrisy of Bobart and Green and Gates and all of these clowns. Now they go on to say, I could have not said it any better. For years, I was a diehard Republican who was conservative, but this Republican Party is not conservative. They are pure evil. You're preaching to the choir. Absolutely agree. They go on to say, I am now an independent who for now leans very blue until the Republican Party gets their shit together. Exactly. Sir, why can a party that had men like George H.W. Bush and Ronald Reagan support a man like Donald Trump? James H. from Stamford, Connecticut. James H., Stamford, Connecticut, used to go to Stanford Mall and actually work with my uncle who's the designer. We used to do windows. He was designed windows in the Stanford Mall, so I love that place. There was a store in the 80s called, I think it was called Chops, CHOPS or something like that. Neat store. I think it was a woman's boutique, and we did their windows and a lot of other windows. But how can they support a man like Trump? I've been asked this before, and my answer has always been this. People that support Trump, I know they're uneducated. I know they're in the Fox bubble and all that, but that's not good enough for me. They had something in them that was either misogynistic, racist, narcissist, or whatever that aligns with Trump. So they continuously stand by a man like Trump because they identify with things that are within them. I don't care if it's your Aunt Mabel or your wife or your husband, sadly, your kids, your best friend, your coworkers, whoever it may be. They showed you who they are. Donald Trump didn't start racism. He didn't start all this bullshit in our country that we're dealing with. He flamed it, and he made it comfortable for people to be their real selves. That's what I'm saying about that. That's how I feel they support a man like Trump. And I could tell you where I stand. I hate his guts, and I mean and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, or whatever the saying is. All right, so that's the answer to your question. Bad Brad, my head is reeling from your second show with former Scientology cult member Mike Rinder. How in the hell can people follow that insanity and to say paid through their teeth? Make it make sense. Tammy H. from Sacramento, California. Well, Tammy, thank you for that question. And I got to be honest with you, Tammy, my head is still spinning round and round. That was a song from the 70s. I said that on another show. It was the DeFranco family featuring Tony DeFranco. And I can't remember the name of the song. So if anybody remembers the name of the song, put it on. My dad bought it for me on 45. And we used to play it and sing. I love that song, the DeFranco family. It's a cult. It absolutely is, like you said. It's no different than the cult of Trump. And they grift off of people that they find that want to believe in something and follow something that is so against what is right and what is actually real. No different than Trump. No different than Trump. So that's what it is. That's what it is. And it's sad because any religion that, and they're not the only ones, Jehovah's Witnesses do this too, that tells somebody that if you leave, that's your crime. You just don't want to be in it no more. You're supposed to cut them off for life, whether it's your husband, your wife, your parents, your kids, your best friends, whoever. That is a cult, and I will never stand by it. And they didn't like my two shows with Mike Rinder, but I don't really care because on my show, I'm bringing the facts and the truth. But that's my answer to that. Last up, Bad Brad. It took me a long time to write this to you. I have followed you on Twitter since early 2020, and I thank God I found you. Well, thank you. I appreciate those kind words. For years, I have kept my sexuality locked up because of fear of what my family, coworkers, and others I have known for decades would think. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Then one day I saw a retweet of your dad's video and followed you. Well, I'm glad that you did. His voice as a Jewish man, I am as well, moved me to tears with him fighting for the gay community in the 1970s. I know what it was like back then. One word, horrible. Yes, it was, and it still is. Anita Bryant was such a bitch. Absolutely true. I remember when she got hit with a pie in the face on TV. I am not for violence, but she deserved it from her evil vitriol against homosexuals who she felt she was better than. Back to why I finally wrote you. Daily, I read your tweets, watch your shows, and when I saw you post a meme with your picture on it saying, never let anyone tell you who to love or what gender to identify with, and put your name after it, I was so moved, I finally came out at the age of 66. I'm so moved, I'm getting emotional. Well, let me keep going. Thank you so much, Brad, for using your voice without obvious fear for repercussions, because by you doing that, you gave me a voice. Today, you told Randy Rainbow in a tweet he was your brother in humanity. And you, Mr. Berkwitt, are my brother in humanity. Deep respect and admiration, Ira M., Miami Beach, Florida. Wow. Catch myself. Wasn't a question, it was a statement. And first of all, Ira, I'm glad that I gave you a voice and you felt comfortable to do that. Yes, I do put that meme out, and I mean everything that I say. Santino, I'm doing a show. See, Santino's trying to get on mine. Santino, go, go, go. Look how he cut in, Santino. I'm very emotional over that, but I am so deeply touched that you took the time to tell me that, because I learned this through my father. So I don't want to go too much into detail because I'm very emotional right now, but these are the type of things that deeply, deeply move me. And if I can help one person, then my cause of my show and my platform and my life, my daily life, is about moving humanity forward. Then Ira, what you just said solidified that. So I thank you from my heart, and I'm going to close out there and say this. Every act of kindness is a little love we leave behind. Bad Brad out.